As information from countless sources pours in, please keep in mind that only some is factual, much is disinformation, misinformation, incomplete coverage, skewed perceptions, or uninformed opinions, and that everything that actually is happening is purposeful. This includes teetering or bankrupt economies, protests about injustices, terrorism, weather extremes, and natural disasters, massive numbers of refugees, corporate and governmental shakeups, and yes, even FIFA's scandalous operation. Everything going on in your world is serving to fulfill chosen karmic experiences, or aiding Earth's return to environmental health, or stirring minds that have been stuck in the oblivion of third density's limitations. It isn't necessary in this moment that everyone understand current situations in the context of karma and balance, planetary cleansing and ascension, or soul's awakening. Eventually that understanding will come to each individual. What is necessary in this moment is happening, and it is evident around your world, the people's ever-growing determination to no longer accept killing, oppression, corruption, deception, pollution, and impoverishment as just life. All light beings throughout this universe are beaming light and helping in many other ways to assist your dedicated endeavors to end just life conditions. A number of messages some time ago explained what caused the 10-year delay in your society's attaining the consciousness level anticipated by the highest Universal Council when they formulated Earth's Golden Age Master Plan. In a more recent message we told you that by the end of your year 2017, that decade of delay will be over. A fact that meant no more than that, yet it elicited a flood of emails. The questions can be summed up as follows. Do you mean that no important developments can happen until the end of 2017? Is that when spacecraft crews will land and ETs living here will identify themselves? Will Earth reach her ascension destination in 2017? Can Earth really be restored to her original health and beauty in that short time? Does this mean all wars will continue until 2017? Especially erroneous is the idea that our statement meant, or implied, that no significant developments can happen until the end of 2017. Beloved Earth family, with every passing day you are moving forward in transforming your world, an undertaking of unprecedented magnitude that is being achieved with unprecedented speed. We wish, as you do, that everything this entails would happen in the blink of an eye, and it could if enough souls there believed it could. But few know they have this innate power, so progress in ways the populace can see goes according to what they think is possible in linear time, and they have no idea about major developments off stage. That notwithstanding, with great joy, we tell you that activity in strategic areas is reaching fever pitch, so to say, and Earth's energy field of potential indicates that results with far-reaching benevolent effects is on the near horizon. Nothing can reverse this forward movement, but its momentum could be slowed because the field is in constant motion as energy streamers zigzag this way or that, in accordance with thoughts, feelings, and deeds of every life form on the planet. Steadfastness in radiating your light will help to keep momentum in the fast lane. Now then, we are happy to respond to a variety of questions. No, we don't perceive China as trying to become number one with economic and military superiority over the US and Russia. China's leaders are no different from those in the United States, Russia, and all other countries. They want a satisfied citizenry because that is the foundation of national stability. The government of China would like to show solidarity to the world, but largely due to social media, it is evident that there is conflict among those in power, much like it is in other countries during these tumultuous times. Powerful persons in all ruling bodies from community level to international are reacting to heightening vibrations, hardliners are digging in their heels, up-and-coming leaders are embracing the light. As good vibes keep accelerating, the hardliners will wane in numbers and influence. Numerous readers in the United States have expressed concern that the military training exercise called Jade Helm is a red flag, so the government can declare martial law, confiscate guns, and put dissenters in FEMA camps to undergo brainwashing. This is no different from the many other instances that also were labeled red flags. either outright false information disseminated to create panic or the assumption of individuals who tend to ascribe sinister intentions to whatever the government does. Please do not be drawn into the fear that is the basis of this melodrama from either or source. Another area of some concern is the risk posed by potential malfunctioning of the Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland. First we say, if scientists in advanced civilizations and nirvana had not deemed that your world was ready for this advancement, they would not have filtered to your physicists even the idea of this technology, much less construction and operating instructions. Yes, it is human to err, as your saying goes, and if someone does that, crews in ships overhead are prepared to prevent a serious outcome. We have been asked if all who were involved in the shooting in the historic church in Charleston, South Carolina, agreed to play those roles. The 9 persons who died and their families did agree, but their agreement, like many others during this stage of Earth's ascension, contains what could be called a contingency clause. In this case, the clause stipulates that if racism no longer is an issue in your world, there would be no need to end the lifetime or grieve the loss of a loved one due to a racially based incident. Lamentably, racism does still run deep in your society. The persons who died in the church and their families became the most recent souls to emphasize that the sickness inherent in bigotry must be cured, and that is the same purpose served by the young man who agreed to do the shooting. Individuals who change genders respond to their awareness that heart, mind and body, they are not the gender identified at birth. While physical changes may be a more complex mental and emotional undertaking than persons experience in uncovering their homosexuality or bisexuality, all of these souls are claiming their authentic selves. An aspect of your society's advancement is the honoring of transgender individuals, who, like everyone else, don't know that they chose in soul contracts to be pioneers in this sense. People who resist accepting the validity of gender change, or of any sexual nature other than heterosexual, still are rooted in religious dogmas that have barely even a nodding acquaintance with the sanctity and divinity of every soul. Matthew said the Illuminati made their money illegally and immorally so it can be recovered and used to eliminate poverty. Why don't the people who be in charge of the new economic system just take the money out of Illuminati banks now and distribute it where it's desperately needed? The individuals in positions to do this are acting with forthrightness within the laws of your society. To do otherwise would be acting in the same reprehensible ways the Illuminati have all along, thus employing the very tactics they are striving to eliminate. Another needless concern is overpopulation. The number of people in your world is not the cause of starvation, subsistence living, and lack of health care. Unequal distribution of monies and Illuminati control of natural resources is. Many planets in this universe smaller than Earth have far more residents, who live peacefully in abundance and with respect for all life forms in their worlds. When Earth is restored to her original health, she could easily accommodate all the needs of double your current population. But please do not assume that this means there will be a population explosion. Although the Illuminati no longer have access to the technology they formerly used to cause earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and severe storms, energy set in motion by those events has a domino effect. The energy of a quake, for instance, doesn't stop when the tremors stop, but rather it continues to flow and generates a multitude of less powerful quakes before it dissipates. Although ancient negativity has been dealt with, fresh sources are bringing to the surface deeply entrenched remnants of the massive amount created long ago, and occasionally this happens in areas where natural disasters are considered anomalies. It is the same with Mother Nature's activity, but the intent differs greatly, and intent has its own energy streamers. The intent of the Illuminati is to create negativity, which could be considered self-replicating because its energy sustains and empowers them. Mother Nature's intent is to release negativity so it isn't available to create more of itself. A reader who saw a film of a reporter from the United States interviewing Vladimir Putin asked if there is any truth to his claim that he is not responsible for the unrest in Ukraine. Earth's monitors in Nirvana apprised us of that interview, so we can state that Mr. Putin's claim is truthful. It is Illuminati troublemakers who are responsible, and he also is correct in saying that the shared cultural history of people in Ukraine and Russia crosses national borders. Why is the US always seen as the bad guy no matter where on earth trouble spots are? Washington, D.C., and Wall Street are the headquarters of the Illuminati's Rockefeller faction, but since you know this, all of their operations are attributed to that country's government, and not without good reason. From its very beginning that government has been riddled with Illuminati, or operate under their influence, and later they infiltrated the CIA, FBI, FDA, NSA, CDC, UN, NASA and all other agencies that could further their aim of world domination. Furthermore, the Rockefeller faction was extremely forceful in expanding its influence well beyond the United States, whereas the Rothschild faction, which grew out of the original small group in Bavaria, concentrated its efforts in Europe. While the Rockefeller group still is clinging to some fragments of power, the Rothschild group is fast losing the last shreds of its former control of governments, banking, and commerce, and the stronghold they once had in the Vatican is gone. Pope Francis is on a house-cleaning mission as well as speaking out against Illuminati-created world conditions that both factions have been trying to keep status quo. They are seeing their efforts becoming less and less effective. Eventually they will see their utter futility. It is so that we haven't attributed the increase in light on the planet to solar flares. However, we have talked about the effects of light from all sources. In addition to saving Earth's very life, effects may include unusual and temporary physical, mental, and emotional conditions, and definitely intensifying light magnifies personal characteristics and behavior. Also, we have told you light's long-term and vital effects. It transforms carbon-based cells into the crystalline form that are viable in higher vibratory levels, and enables advancement in spiritual and conscious awareness. So yes, absolutely soul's activity is part and parcel of Earth's ascension and yours. We understand the feelings of the reader who wrote her difficulty in believing that anyone would choose a life of suffering or cause suffering to others, that the first is masochistic, and the latter, sadistic. Indeed, it is difficult to imagine why souls would willingly choose either role, or that all of you have done the very same many times. It is with unconditional love for all others in the pre-birth agreement that some souls agree to act with extreme harshness so others can experience what they need to balance lifetimes when they were the abusive ones. When people live together happily and harmoniously, life on earth will be in balance, and no more back and forth lifetimes will be needed. Thousands of children are dying every day. How is it in keeping with love and light that all these innocents are deprived of physically ascending with Earth? The importance of the karmic aspect aside, Earth's residence physically ascending with her never has meant living there throughout the journey to her destination in fifth density. Every single soul who has lived on the planet since its ascension process began 80-some years ago was or is physically ascending location-wise. The aim of every soul in every lifetime is personal ascension, growing spiritually and consciously, and this has little to do with incarnation longevity or location. By embodying only a short time, a soul can complete contract provisions and achieve personal ascension. A person who lives 100 years and lifelong makes free will choices contrary to soul contract selections, doesn't experience what was needed to personally ascend. Dear brothers and sisters, like every other person who has entered Earth's spirit realm, when you transition and review your lifetime, you won't measure it by how long you lived, but by how you lived. Now we bid you farewell in words only, as our unconditional love always is with you. Love and peace.